welcome to Sweep the Pod, the unofficial official Cobra Kai rewatch podcast. I'm Dana Dude, a.k.a. Anoush.
I am Bret Ernst, a.k.a. Louis LaRusso.
And today we are going to get into episode 2, Strike First, episode 2. So, this episode starts off with an amazing montage of the LaRusso household in full heaven mode. You've got that song, like a fella once said, ain't that a kick in the head? Who is that? Is it
That's Dean Martin, man.
Dean Martin. Dean Martin is singing Kick in the Head, which also is so funny because, if you think about it, all of the Karate Kid is the crane kick in the head. Ain't that a kick in the head?
Now, did you notice episode 1, we see Billy, or Johnny, and now episode 2?
It's Ralph's time to shine.
It's Ralph's time to shine. It's Daniel.
And let's not overlook the vixen who makes her entrance in the montage.
Our arguably probably one of the closest
Co-stars on the show.
Co-star to us.
Probably one of the funniest people on the show.
Absolutely.
Courtney Hangler. Shout out to Courtney. Pew, pew, pew.
We're going to get her on.
We have to get her on. Courtney is the funniest person, which is annoying because she's hot. And normally you want the hot people to have awful personalities, so it all balances out.
No, we don't. See, this is what I mean, Dan.
Sorry?
Just because someone's attractive, you don't want to hate on them and be mad that they're funny as well.
Okay, great. Easy
And
the guy who used to be a model. Very easy for him to say
I was
this.
never a model. I got
Okay.
offered modeling jobs and I took it. Okay, I was young. I needed the money.
Oh my God, poor you. Guess who was never offered a modeling
Guess
job?
who doesn't care?
Yeah.
And you got to quit taking your little nerd anger out on the rest of the world.
I don't go to therapy, so this is my moment. Amazing montage that is finally comes to a close with the vision of Cobra Kai. The storefront is being built, and boom, Daniel's brought back down to earth.
You see it in his face.
You see it in his face. I mean, I also just love the quick cuts to the Karate Kid movie of like the trauma. The trauma cuts are so good. Yeah, I mean, what's a man to do? He's built this amazing life. He put Cobra Kai behind him, and now here it is, haunting him again.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything like that in your life?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Wait, does that mean that I'm not a sports fan? I don't know.
I know you're not. I'm a Cowboys fan.
Okay, got it.
Don't hold it against me if you're listening.
It's
been
Cobra
a rough
Kai.
28 years.
They're your Cobra Kai?
No, the Eagles are probably my Cobra Kai.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Or the Niners.
Or the Niners.
We won't get into sports. I know you get lost in that and you get confused.
No. Hey, this is a podcast for everyone. So I would love to talk about a spirited debate of the 49ers of San Francisco versus the Soaring Eagles of Philadelphia.
Yeah, you got that right. I'm proud of you.
The city of brotherly love. Also, while we're at it,
I don't know how they got that nickname.
I've been to Philadelphia. Nobody's nice.
Well, try going to the vet as a child with a Randy White jersey on and having grown men throw beer at you when you're 12.
What were you going to the vet for?
That's the name of not the doctor for animals.
Oh.
The vet was the name of the stadium that the Eagles played in.
Oh.
That actually had a jail built in it because so many people fought.
Come on.
I'm dead serious.
Really?
Yeah, you get arrested, you get processed, and they had a judge down there.
Come on.
I'm dead serious.
Oh my God.
And you know, interesting fact about Philadelphia fans, and we'll get back to the show.
Yes, thanks for tuning into the Cobra Kai Rewatch podcast to hear our take on Philadelphia fans. Please.
But my buddy Steve Simone, great comedian, had a great observation. Now, when you went to the Raiders Stadium in Oakland, right,
yes.
which were very rowdy, but these were like bikers, gang members, right,
yes.
outside of the stadium. When you were at the vet, it was like your kid's pediatrician trying to throw you off the tier. Okay, that's how rabid. And I say that I respect. I have a love-hate relationship with the Eagle fans, just like I do with you.
Right. Can we get back to
Yes,
Cobra
let's
Kai?
get back
Cobra
to the
Kai.
Show. You brought it up. By the way, I don't know if I'm representing Burt Reynolds in The Longest Yard.
For those of you not watching, Bret is wearing a t-shirt that says Mean Machine on it.
22.
This is a grown man wearing a t-shirt that says Mean Machine. I am wearing a beautiful suede leather jacket that I bought in Paris. made by Officine Generale. And Bret is wearing a t-shirt that says Mean Machine with a silver chain that
This chain will always be here.
on closer look is probably made out of aluminum or some sort of
This came and was purchased in Sicily.
Okay. He has a
Well, if you want to name your country of origin where your clothes are from.
But you're saying it like Sicilians are known for their chains.
I think we are, aren't we? I don't know.
Like quality chains come from Sicily. Anyway.
Just get to the episode. So now we see the montage. Ralph's happy. Life's great. And then boom,
crashing down Cobra Kai. And now we're in the dojo with our one student, Miguel. And in probably like the funniest scene.
What's your Cobra Kai? Straight guys?
Wow. We're going there. I want you guys to know that before we started episode 1, Bret said, let's try to keep it, not too edgy.
Yeah, well, you kind of threw that out the window with your
algorithm likes
numerous Chris Hansen references.
Now we're making gay jokes, everybody. We're making gay jokes. Shout out to all of our gay listeners. You are not my Cobra Kai. You are my Cobra Guy. Anyway, then we get into our first lesson, our first teaching, our first dojo learning experience with Miguel.
Which I think is funny when he goes, when do I get my pajamas?
When do I get my pajamas? The throwing of the inhaler is the funniest thing ever.
He goes, you don't have asthma. It's like, he goes, it's all that made up shit, like asthma and peanut allergies. Like asthma is not real. I see. That's what I love again about the show. And I don't know if you get this, like a lot of kids will come up to you, right? Because families watch it.
Yeah.
But there's things in there for the adults and the people of our generation. And
it's the best.
Johnny represents that, which, by the way, I've met numerous young ladies in their 20s and 30s that are in love with him.
Oh, they like the throwback to a different time.
They love that type of guy.
Yeah.
Because it's lacking in society, because guys like you have taken over.
Right.
Oh. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Interesting. Sorry again. There's going to be a trigger warning for this episode, because apparently we are going there. So again, yes, I have Clash of Gen X and Gen Z. That is like a big theme in this episode. We also meet.
What we also had when he was telling him that's genderizing, when he told Billy that.
Yeah, what did he say about genderizing?
He was saying, you want to be a man.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of like what I'm doing now.
And very funny scene. And then we go back to the, I love that Danny is in the country club. He feels comfy in his country club.
Yeah.
And then we meet his kid, Anthony LaRusso, played by Griffin Santopietro.
Who, by the way, nicest kid on the planet. But he grew so much, I thought they replaced him.
Dude, he grew so... Here's what I don't get. Like, how do they know what these kids are going to look like when they get... Like, later we're going to meet Dallas. Like, how do they know that Dallas... What's Dallas's character's name?
I forget. There's a side story here.
Mara, what's Dallas's character's name?
But Dallas, okay.
What is it? Oh, sorry.
So Dallas, my brother, and...
Wait, hold on. Let me just get the name, and then we'll get into it.
Right.
And then we'll... Yes. Oh, yeah. Like you look at Dallas. Like, how do they know Dallas, who plays Kenny? How do they know that he's going to end up being jacked? Or how do they know that Griffin is going to...
Well, you figure they know that they're in high school. So when you start as a freshman,
I know
that allows the years for you to grow.
I guess.
But here's a cool story with Dallas.
Yeah.
I got one with Courtney as well. But prior to Cobra Kai, my little brother was staying at a hotel. I think they were in Disney World Resort or something. Dallas was a little kid. My niece...
Is this your little gay brother?
No, my older brother was
Older
gay.
brother was gay brother.
Was gay. That's not a joke. My older brother was gay. He's not taking a shot.
I'm not taking... First of all, it's not considered
taking
a shot.
I'm saying is that you
by
were...
saying someone's gay. You have a gay older brother.
He passed away.
He died.
Yes.
Again with the pass away, making me look like an asshole.
Oh, you didn't bring it up. Anyways.
My brother died too. We both have dead brothers.
Did your brother pass away?
Yeah.
When?
Okay. We're
all right. Well,
off topic,
just let me get to the story then. So my little brother, and my niece.
My brother was straight though. So.
Or do you want to tell us how?
Just saying, my brother was straight, and your brother was gay.
Okay.
So.
Anyways, so my younger brother is staying at this hotel. My niece is at the time, and Dallas and his mom were there, and my niece and him became friends, and they played football in the pool, everything. And then when Dallas was on the show, it was just a coincidence. Huh. So remember when we did the Cobra Kai live?
Yes.
My niece came backstage, and they knew each other from when they were little kids.
No way.
Yeah.
Did they?
Coincidental. See, that could have been quick and painless.
Was there like a rekindling?
There's kids. When you're a kid, 3 years is a long time.
Yeah.
5 years. It's even when I think of high school, which once you get out of high school, those are the longest 4 years of your life.
Yeah.
Once you're out, everything just speeds up,
So speeding up puberty, like we were saying.
Well,
Griffin, that sounded creepy.
But they're supposed to be freshmen or in high school. You're creatively, you can grow. I mean, it's
I know, but you don't know how they're gonna grow. If it's gonna grow, if
it
it's gonna go
matter.
well, if it's gonna go bad.
It doesn't matter.
I mean,
it's when it's 9 years later and they're still trying to play 14.
Right. What if they? But again, how do they know? Maybe they have that disease that Arnold has from different strokes.
They would know,
and he just doesn't grow. What if he has that? No, you got to answer this question. Like, how would they know that you don't have that disease?
Now they're the other thing, because I think I made that. I like that note too when he threw the asthma thing away.
Okay.
The other thing that was funny is when the inspector came in. Are we there yet?
Yes.
Oh yeah, and he's like, "Is that one of your students?" He goes, "No, he's an illegal."
I picked up at Home Depot. I love that. Yeah, he's like, no, that'll be fine if he's an illegal.
And kudos, man. I mean, because they're all great actors.
Yes.
But the comedic timing. Same thing with Dimitri.
Yes.
Their comedic timing is
unbelievable.
Is perfect. Yeah.
Fantastic.
All right, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just.
Oh shoot.
Oh my God.
Somebody's at my door. I got a package.
He's got a package. Bret has a Ring Cam, everybody.
Well, you knew what it was. Do you have one?
This episode is brought to you by Ring Cam.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
We're just trying to pick up sponsors, so we're just going to shout them out, even though they haven't really sponsored us yet. I was just going to say, Griffin, who's a grown-ass man now, is going to Yale. He's going to Yale next year.
Is he really?
He's going to Yale, for acting Yale. Like, there's the acting Yale, which is, the best acting school in, the world. I went there.
Did you really?
No.
Where'd you go to school?
Johns Hopkins.
What is that?
It's a top 10 school in the country, Bret.
Is it really?
I'm not surprised you've never heard of it.
What'd you get a degree in?
Romance languages, French and Spanish literature, and I was also.
And what did you expect to do with that degree?
I was
just pronounce your clothes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I thought that was funny.
What did you? What plumbing school did you go to?
Huh?
What plumbing school did you go to?
It's called trade school.
Trade school, right?
So I made a note.
Plumbing school.
I really did. I thought he grew so much. I thought they switched him out.
I did. I thought so too. I couldn't recognize him. He grew so insanely. And actually, I heard that they made the parents give him growth hormones to speed it up.
You're lying.
That's not true. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, stop.
I'm just kidding. We also get a closer look at our villain, Kyler.
Yeah.
Kyler is the villain. And he's a real piece of crap.
Well, we saw him in the first episode.
We did. We get a little bit of a closer look. And he's he's not a good guy. He's not a nice guy. I don't like him, which I'm not supposed to like him.
Which means he did his job.
Which means he did his job really well.
And it's funny too when you read a lot of these comments on the show. It's like the kid that played AJ Soprano. Everybody hated him, but that meant he did his job.
Right. Yeah. Didn't people get super pissed at you when you when you blew up the car? No, when you crashed, lit the car on fire. Yeah,
but they didn't like me throughout the show, which is a compliment.
Right.
Because it's okay, well, I really sold it, I guess.
Right.
Or did I? Or maybe they wouldn't like me in real life.
When the director came up to you and was like, "You're doing an awful job," you were like,
"Thank you.
I'm doing my job."
Like, "Hey, you're doing great. Everybody hates you."
All right, so then we meet our nerdy Cobra Kais. We've got Eli and Dimitri, right? So Eli is Hawk, Dimitri is our nerdy funny guy. He's hilarious.
I want to get back to the dojo too.
Okay,
I love when, because I don't know if people do that anymore when they flick the bottle cap.
Oh yeah, that was a move.
Nailed it.
That was a move.
That was a move back in the day.
Yeah.
And then I also thought it was funny when he told them to fix the exposed wires.
Yeah. You know what I can never do is, and I'm always envious when people can open up a bottle with a lighter.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Can you do that?
No.
Yeah, Bret.
But wait, isn't go ahead.
Bret gives off this energy like he's this bad boy who can do all the bad boy things.
Opening a bottle with a lighter is not a bad boy move.
Yes, it is a bad boy move.
That's some douchey things that they did at Johns Hopkins at a frat party that you were impressed with.
Yeah, well, it was a badass move.
They don't do that in trade school.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you used your welding mask or something to take the.
Wait, did we skip the pool scene already?
No. Oh, yes, we did.
Yeah. All right. Because I want to. Here's a little back information.
Okay.
And you could kind of tell when you're looking at it. And correct me if I'm wrong. I just recall when we were there, them talking about the scene and how freezing it was.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it was like cold in Atlanta at the time, and those kids are jumping in the pool.
This is what's crazy is that this show firmly takes place in Southern California. It takes place in the Valley. Most of the actors are from Southern California, yet the show shoots in Atlanta, which is hilarious.
Tax incentives.
We can get into
a lot of shows shoot in Atlanta.
Everything shoots in Atlanta. Game of Thrones was in Atlanta. All those mountaintop scenes, nope, they were in Buckhead.
By the way, people don't know if you're joking or not.
No, it's not. I think it was like in Bulgaria or some shit.
The other thing too, which I want to make note of before we get to the school and you meet the Cobra Kai nerds or future Cobra Kai nerds.
Yeah.
Was the house. So the house, you never shot in that house.
LaRusso's house? No, I did not.
You were never there.
No.
So that house, gorgeous house, but then they rebuilt it in the studio later on in the seasons because I think they couldn't get the house or they might have sold it. I don't know the story behind that. We can ask the producers that if we make a note.
Okay.
But they rebuilt it almost exactly the same.
Really?
On the studio, yeah. Exactly the same.
Wild.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. But we shot on location at that house. I was there because I'm family and you're not.
You're saying it like it's a ding against me. Yes, I'm a different character in the show, Bret. We can't all be in the LaRusso family. So we meet so I will say, I was shocked at the transformation watching where Eli ends up. Going from Eli to Hawk is like the craziest transformation because I forgot like how nerdy and insecure and kind of small he makes himself, and then he ends up being like arguably the most like fierce one in the Cobra Kais. Yeah, he's a savage.
And they make reference to that even like during the Halloween costumes, which we'll get to that.
Yes, we will get to that.
But yeah, he's so timid, and I forget his name. Oh, it's what's his name? It's not Hawk. What Ian or?
Eli.
Eli, they call him. Yeah, his name's Eli.
His name's Eli. They give him a nice nerdy.
Yeah, and he's just all quiet.
Eli name. And so we meet our nerds and we meet the girls. We meet our mean girls. And boy, are they mean.
Yeah, they are.
They're so mean. They're mean to the nerdy boys. They're mean to what's her name? Who's Sam's friend? That they want to do
Alicia.
Yeah, that they want to do sodium chloride together. Did you get that sodium chloride was salt?
Yeah, of course.
Did you honestly?
You mean NaCl?
Yes. Did you know that?
Yeah.
You knew that. They taught you
didn't know that?
They taught you that at plumber school.
At trade school?
Yeah,
they did.
Aisha. What did we say?
Alicia.
Aisha,
you are the girl that I never had.
So Aisha.
You might be too young for that, love. That was another bad creation. ABC.
Yes, you should know that Bret calls our producer, Mara, love, which I'm not sure how she feels about that. I'm sure HR will have a talk with us soon.
Can I tell you why? I'm almost 21 years older than her, and she could be my daughter.
Yeah, dude, generationally, you can't call young girls love like that. You can't do that.
I view him as a
You literally,
younger person.
I mean, Cobra Kai is like a documentary of Bret's real life.
Well, Dan, as a Gen Z that looks like shit, you can. She's younger than me.
Okay, great, cool.
It's a term of endearment.
Great. When Sweep the Pod just becomes Anoush talks about the episode because cousin Louie had to leave town.
Just get to it, man. By the way, you cause all this. You'll sidetrack it.
The girls are mean.
Yeah, they're very mean.
They're very mean.
Very catty like you.
They're very catty. And you know what? It actually brought back a really sensitive, tender memory for me. There was a girl that I was in elementary school, Alyssa Donnenfeld, if you're listening, Alyssa. And she and I were like best friends. Best friends. I'd hang out after her house, and she was so cool, and I found her very attractive, and it was so great that she was friends with me because I was a big. Don't look at this man candy before you and think that I came out like this. I was an awkward child. I did not look as handsome as I do now.
No.
Yeah.
Get out.
It's a shocker. And Alyssa and I were such close friends, and we'd hang out all the time. And then once during recess, Lauren fucking Seltzer.
Watch the F-bombs.
Well, if you saw what she did to me, you'd be okay with it there. Lauren effing Seltzer came over and said, me and Alyssa were talking to each other, and she said, what are you doing after school today, Alyssa? And she said, I'm hanging out with Dan. And Lauren Seltzer goes, ew, you're hanging out with Dan? He's so gross. And then she said, no, I'm not hanging out with Dan. And we never hung out again.
Well, here's why.
Hold on. Let that sit for a second.
I don't care.
Instead of just jumping in, let me sit with my trauma. Make space for me. Make space for me.
No, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you were friends with her because you found her attractive. And that's your little Weasley way of moving in, and you were gonna get friend zoned anyways, and you took it personally.
Dude, I didn't. I was a friend. There was nothing romantic.
Weren't her friend.
It was elementary school. It's not like I was trying to make out with her. I just felt like a kinship with her, and then suddenly she completely ignored me forever.
So you found her attractive in elementary school.
I found her as attractive.
You're a weasel, Dan.
As attractive as
you're a weasel. You get what you deserve in the long run.
I found her as attractive as an elementary school. Not like physically attractive, like I want, not like RedTube. But like, it was I liked her. And what? What are you?
No, go ahead. You for some reason we just can't.
Can I just finish this?
All right, Dan.
It comes full circle.
I'm not your therapist.
I had a show at the Laugh Factory a couple years ago. I get an email from an Instagram message from frickin' Lauren Seltzer. Hey, I'm in LA. I would love to see you do comedy. My husband and I want to see you. Yeah, come. I got you tickets. Came to my show. I ripped into her for like 15 minutes straight.
Yeah, because that's normal for an adult to be mad at what a third grader did. Think about that. Unpack that. She was a child. But come on, let's get back to the podcast. So you related to the Mean Girls.
I related to the Mean Girls. Thank you. Because of Lauren Seltzer.
Because Lauren took your sippy cup during cookie break.
We also end up meeting Robbie Keane. Robbie Keane.
Robbie I was probably the first season, obviously, because we did a lot of scenes together because they made me pick on him.
Yeah.
But I hung out with him the most.
Yeah.
And what a great kid.
What a great guy.
But, when he comes in, now he's the bad kid.
He's a bad boy.
And he was doing Molly. Which what's his name? Billy was like, what was the joke about that?
Yeah, Johnny.
He didn't know what it was.
Johnny says, I don't know who that is. Or he thought Molly was a person.
Which I don't think Johnny didn't do. He would never have done drugs. Never did drugs.
I don't think Johnny would have ever done drugs.
No.
He's a booze guy.
Yeah. Might have smoked weed, but that's not a drug.
He's a booze guy. Booze is my drug too. That's my guilty pleasure.
Oh, I've seen you.
What does that mean?
When we went out in Atlanta a few times. We could tell those stories later in the podcast. So go ahead. So now we meet Robbie. He's in trouble.
We meet Robbie. He's in trouble. And we slowly see Miguel turning into a badass. He's taking his punches a little more seriously. He's using the motivation of the visuals of the bad guys He's using that to motivate him. I gotta say, it's so funny though. Again, his arc also very interesting is because when you meet Miguel in the beginning, I'm like, I can't imagine ever being scared of this kid.
But you could see signs of it in his character.
You do.
Yeah, like because he, if he wasn't outnumbered, he's throwing hands.
Right.
He's not backing down, that kid.
Yeah.
You just got to be to have the desire not to back down is innate.
Right.
To learn how to defend yourself is you can learn, but that fire, you're born with that. And I don't know if you know what that's like, Dan, because you're still holding grudges to third grade girls.
Okay.
But
how many fights have you been in?
Honestly?
Yeah.
All right, put you like this. I couldn't tell you how many fights I've been in my life, but I'll tell you this much. I got about 19 strong losses. Like epic.
19
strong losses.
19?
Easy.
That means so I've gotten in one fight.
And I'm not counting, you mean as where I'm not counting like elementary school stuff.
I mean, how could you not have been a bully if you got into 19 fights?
Because I'm not a bully.
But if you 19 losses, that means that there was some so you've been in over 30 fights, you're telling me.
In my life?
Yes.
Yeah, way over.
Jesus Christ.
But you got to understand where you grow up, how you grow up, it plays into it.
Yeah.
And
poor parenting.
Because a lot of this is about bullying.
Bad parenting.
Yeah, single parent, not a bad parent. Just had to work 2 jobs.
Who don't care about you enough to raise you.
No, here's the truth though. And I love it too because this is about bullying.
Yes.
I know you try to be a writer, but in literature, the one thing that the hero and the
best-selling book, Undercooked, you can get it on Amazon.
In literature, what the hero and the coward have in common is what?
The hero and the coward have in common is that they both have fears.
They're both afraid, and the hero goes forward.
Wait, are you not impressed that I knew that?
Well, you should know it, Dan.
No, you should be a little more impressed. You did not think I was going to know that.
You went to Anthony Hopkins University, so you should know it. Top 10 school.
The next scene is a huge scene for me. Huge scene.
Well, how many fights have you been in?
I've been in...
Besides with Laura, whatever her name is.
I got sucker punched once at a bar in New York.
That's the worst.
And then in middle school, Raja Shah got into a fight with me. And
wait, you got beat up by an Indian kid?
What? I don't understand what his ethnicity has anything to do with that.
Because if you're familiar with Indian culture, the last name has something to do with the region or like the people they're from. Shah is usually a very pacifistic group if they have Shah as the last name.
Oh my God. Now we're getting canceled in India.
No, it's the truth.
We are the #1 show in India. First of all, to all of our Indian fans.
That's not an apology. That's the truth.
To all the Shahs that are listening. I want to...
Could you Google that, please?
You don't have to Google
You just got beat up by a pacifistic dude.
Our Shahs, pacifistic Indians. Yes, I got beaten. I beat up Gandhi.
No, I'm saying, was he Indian?
He was Indian.
Okay, so how did I know that?
His name is Indian. That doesn't mean that he's pacifistic.
Shah, he could have been from Iran.
Okay.
No, but I'm serious. That's hilarious to me that a Shah actually got violent and beat you up.
Well, you know what? He was violent that day. Maybe I got him on the wrong day. Okay? Maybe he...
Dude, getting sucker punched is the worst.
Yes, it's confusing. You don't even know that it's happening.
If you've never been like if you ever been like knocked out, here's what it's like. You hear a noise, which is your face.
Right.
And then blink real quick and go meow, 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 meow. And then you're like, you don't even know what happened.
Right.
It's the worst. You ever been jumped?
No, I grew up in a good neighborhood. So the next scene is...
It doesn't matter. You could grow up in a good neighborhood and then get sucker punched in a bar in New York.
Right, I understand. But the bars that I went to were different from the bars that
So then why'd you get sucker punched in that bar?
I went to a bad bar. Okay. I was in a bad bar for one day. I wanted to be a bad boy.
You're
and
so
I said,
annoying.
that's it. I'm going.
You want to be a bad boy, so you took your lighter and opened a beer bottle.
Yeah, I tried, and the lighter.
And the guy went pussy and just sucker punched you.
Exactly. The next scene is a scene that's very near and dear to my heart. It's when the LaRussos are hosting Sam's boyfriend.
And I literally wrote, Dan. I put Dan and Duke so they wouldn't say Dan, so I wouldn't make Daniel. This is something you would do.
Yes, it
Look what it
is.
says right here.
Yes, it is. I'm a huge foodie. And he has a very special knife, a Japanese knife for carving fish, and he has a piece of toro, which is the belly of the tuna, of the bluefin tuna typically, and he's serving that to this ungrateful weasel.
Well, I thought it played out perfectly, and I think this is a good segue into what an obnoxious food snob you are, and when you took me out in Atlanta.
Yes, you're right. Okay, so I'm a.
First of all, can I say this?
Yes.
To the people listening, we lived there for a while because we're shooting there.
Yeah.
And me and Dan would go out at night. And when we first got there.
Thank you, by the way, thank you for saying to the people listening, because I don't know who else you'd be addressing this to except for people listening to this.
That's very true.
But yes, to the people listening.
Well, yeah, to the people listening and watching. I know, right? So we get together, and I had some friends that live in Atlanta that own nightclubs there that I had worked with previous in my past before getting into stand-up.
Yes.
So I was ready
told
to.
I can't give details about that life when we're on the air, so you can imagine what type of things we're talking about.
So anyways, long story boring, I had set up to go out and with these people. So I go to Dan, hey, you want to roll tonight? So then Dan says, well, I have plans to go eat here. So what we decided was.
Yes, because I had like a whole list of restaurants in Atlanta that I wanted to visit. And I was going to go down my list on my spreadsheet and try each of them.
He had an actual spreadsheet, by the way.
And I was very excited. And, Bret's like, oh, whatever. I'm just going to go out. I don't need to eat anything. I don't care about nothing.
No, that's no way. That's the worst impression
I'm just going to go out. I don't care. I don't need no food. And I'm like, Bret.
That sounds like an impression of a character from a show, and I don't know who it is. But go ahead.
That's literally your voice.
Sure.
Bret doesn't know that he sounds like that. Bret doesn't know that he sounds like how he sounds like. I want you guys. Okay, ready? I'm not going to tell you who's Bret and who's Dan. But this is Bret. Anyway, so long story boring. I tell my buddy Tino.
So then Dan goes, I want to go eat somewhere nice. Oh, geez.
So we end up going to this wonderful gastropub in
it was some hipster town. Now, right away, I was annoyed. I had to set up at a nice Italian steakhouse, wooden, traditional, great place. So Dan drags me to this hipster neighborhood, which was already pretentious. People walking around, people on bikes everywhere.
Oh, heavens forbid. People are on bicycles. Heavens forbid.
Because that's the hipster thing. They just take bikes everywhere. That's why they're ruining all the bad neighborhoods.
Yes, those monsters on their bicycles.
So we go in this place, and already it's 80,000 beer taps.
Yes.
He's all impressed.
Yeah, it's wonderful. They have beers from all over the world. They have all different kinds of beers. They have lagers. They have pilsners. They have gozes. They have sours. They have them all. And he's like, can a guy just get a Corona here?
No, it was a Guinness I was asking
Guinness.
for.
He wanted a Guinness.
So anyways, we go in. Go ahead.
Yeah, we go in. We sit down.
And I'm already shitting on the place.
Yeah, and he's pissed off. And we get the menus, and I'm interpreting the menu for Bret. He's like, hey, what's a mushroom gastrique? I'm like, oh, my God.
Just put mushrooms.
Yeah. And then the waitress comes over, and I'm very excited to, ask her about the dishes, ask her about the menu.
And he's talking nerd food talk.
I'm talking nerd food talk. She hates me. I don't know why.
Oh, you really?
She hates me.
And loved me.
And loved Bret.
You know why? Because I asked her. I'm not pretending. I don't know.
Bret's like, is the hamburger going to be delicious?
Dude, that's a better impression than the last one you did. No, I said, look, I just want a hamburger, however you make it, and your closest thing to a Guinness.
Yeah, closest thing to a Guinness.
Dan's asking all kinds of questions.
Yeah, I was like,
how many hours was the shiitake mushroom in the under the light before you harvest it? Oh, jeez.
But how good was the food?
Is that arugula lettuce?
How
Well,
good
that
was-
was the clincher.
How good was the food?
It's the best burger I ever had.
Yep.
And it was amazing.
Exactly.
It was amazing.
We had a great time.
And the waitress was cool.
Yeah.
Because she hated you.
Hated me.
Right. Because she was real. Like, you pretend to be, like, you pretend to be something.
What is?
She really was it.
What do you mean I pretend to be?
Like, you
something?
pretend to be this food expert and everything.
I'm not pretend. I am a food expert.
No, you're not.
What are you talking about?
You don't cook.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't.
You're such a. You don't know anything about me.
I do know.
You don't follow me on the socials. I post my cooking videos.
I was on your podcast.
I post.
I beat you in a food debate.
Okay. Anyway,
Did I or did I not?
you know, it's.
Did I or did I not?
You know, it's kind of like it's. There was election interference. Okay. So I don't know. Yes.
Russia was involved?
Yes. Did I? Yes. Russia was involved. Did I leave and you took the crown? Yes. Was it a peaceful transfer of power? I'm not quite sure.
No, I am, all jokes aside, obviously. This is a sincere compliment. Okay.
Yes.
I am impressed with your knowledge of food.
Thank you.
And all these words, like your jacket. Like, if I just bought a jacket and I liked it, I wouldn't know who made it.
Yeah.
But you know, Frederick, whatever his name is.
Officine General.
Yeah, okay. You got a general's jacket on.
Frederick.
It looks like a velvet members only jacket, but
Okay. Yep.
to each their own.
Very good suede. So then one of my favorite lines of the episode is when Miguel is asking Johnny, hey, is there any way you want me to clean to wash the windows? And it's just a setup for wax on, wax off. And he goes, nah, I don't give a shit.
Put
So
that
good.
there too. But I want to get back to the sushi thing,
Back to the sushi, the Toro.
which I thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
Is that the Asian kid didn't even like sushi.
Yeah.
And Daniel, if you know about his relationship with Okinawa and Mr. Miyagi, it makes sense. But if it didn't, let's say you don't know the backstory.
Yeah.
It just looks like some pretentious white guy trying to impress an Asian kid who did not like the sushi, which is kind of like you, who rolls his R's at Mexican restaurants, which drives me nuts.
Well, first of all, if I want a burrito, I am going to order a burrito.
Oh, God. And meanwhile, we're at Chipotle.
Yeah. Excuse me, my good man. And then there's another line where Daniel's like, "Oh, so where are your parents from?" Expecting them to be like Japan or whatever. He's like, Reseda? Right. All right.
Yeah, look, I put that. Love the way he dismissed cleaning the windows.
Yeah, good.
Such a great,
good boy. Good
great,
boy, Bret.
Great.
You took a good note.
Thank you.
You took a good note.
Then I also like when Daniel comes into the dojo
No, this is huge.
and confronts him.
On the mat.
And he goes, you fought. He goes, no, I kicked the shit out of those assholes.
Yeah, because he finds out that what he finds out at the dinner is that Kyler talks about how he got his ass kicked, and Daniel puts two and two together and realizes that Johnny kicked Kyler and his friends' asses. And the way Kyler made it out, it's like they just got jumped normally. He leaves out the beginning part that he was the Pepto-Bismol bully.
Yes.
Now,
but it still raises a question. And this is what I love about it. He doubled down on kicking the shit out of those kids.
Yeah.
He knew they were kids.
Yeah.
But, 6-on-1. And let's be honest, 17, 18-year-old can do some damage. I mean, that's why you got juveniles in adult prisons.
Right.
And instead of backing down, he doubles down. Then they square up on the mat.
Johnny's got a really strong ethical code.
He does. And
I think he does. Like within his little warped world.
I don't think it's warped, though. I really don't.
I mean,
when you're think of it this way. Again, 40 years or 80 years ago, 18-year-olds were storming Normandy. Okay. Now, people are we're so privileged now in this country. We haven't had any type of major world war. People are 30 and still trying to figure it out. Right. He's just of that generation because, again, he's older than us.
Yes.
But it's still our generation.
Yeah. And
I remember guys like that growing up. There was guys that were like grown men that, you just because you're a kid doesn't mean they won't punch you in the mouth.
Yeah.
And
now kids aren't allowed to walk alone
to
the store.
I'm not kidding you. Where I live, there's a high school and they have a crossing guard. Let that sink in. They got a damn crossing guard for, I could see elementary, middle school. I don't know how you were. You probably got driven to school in a limo.
Here we go.
But we used to walk and you know, there was no crossing guards.
Yeah, dude, I had to walk to the limo to get me to the school. All right? We're all in the same boat here. So yes, the confrontation is wild.
Yeah.
It's a wild confrontation. There's tension.
And it just foreshadows because they square up, and then they back away.
And then, but Johnny says to him, like, tend to your own house, bro. You don't know. Oh, Johnny says to him, he says, tend to your own house.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on, man. You don't know all the answers.
That kid that your daughter's with, but he still hadn't revealed that it was his daughter that crashed his car. It was with him.
No, I think, doesn't he say at the end of the episode, he knows, I don't know if it comes up, but the moment, I don't know if you picked up on this, but there's the moment when LaRusso goes back to his car and Johnny, with the lights of the car in his face, looking out, gives just the smallest little smile right before they fade to black. And that smile to me was so like, it's almost like Johnny's finally getting meaning in his life again because of this rivalry being awoken. And it's like finally giving him purpose again. Because it wasn't like a smile of, haha, I got you. It was like a smile of like, the band is back in town.
And it's also, you know, him, because you see in the montage in the first episode, those were his glory days. It's almost like he peaked there.
Yes.
And he's still holding on to this grudge from high school, kind of like you with that little girl in 3rd grade.
Lauren Seltzer. Yeah. She's my Cobra Kai, dude. That's my Cobra Kai, is Lauren Seltzer. She's like a nice mother of 3. She's like a nurse.
How old was she? 7? She saves lives and has a purpose. And you're like, yeah, you and your husband can come to my show.
I have a picture of her on my dartboard at home.
But now you're right. It's like now it's time for me to redeem myself.
Yes, he's getting his purpose back. He's getting his mojo back. It's so good.
But it's cool too because you know, as much as he loved karate, because he brings up in the thing, he's like,
oh my God, dude. No one's coming to your house.
Why are they going off? No, but he brings up
who's delivering the summons to your home?
when
what is it called? The court thing that they deliver?
I don't know.
What do you mean? You've been divorced.
You just said it's
What's
a
the
summons.
thing? Is it a summons?
Yeah, but that's not how that works.
Divorce is not. Yeah, you get a thing. My friend got divorced.
Yeah,
the lawyer comes and gives them a thing.
That's when they're coming to they serve you.
Serve you. Yes. Yeah. Serve you your papers.
With Miguel.
Hey, I'm sorry I brought up your divorce.
I don't care.
I don't either, actually. I thought it was kind of funny.
No, but what I'm saying when he goes to Miguel,
just make noises with your phone. Can you have a little bit of decorum of knowing how a podcast works?
Say. Let's just wrap it up.
No, wait.
I forgot what it was.
It was about Miguel.
I forgot what it was.
Okay. Hey,
what did you say prior to that?
What did I say prior? I was talking about the smile, giving him meaning again, and the rivalry being reignited, and he's feeling his mojo.
I forgot. It was something to do with Miguel.
Passed away versus dying. God,
you're so annoying.
Now,
by the way, if you're gonna listen, okay, and you're gonna hear me interrupt, this is why I have to interrupt him, because he'll go so far off track that I'll forget what I was gonna say.
Okay.
If you don't get it in right away, you'll never get it in.
Okay,
that's something to do with Miguel. What was the ending on that? We ended with him smiling.
And then like the
purpose, whatever. Let's just wrap this one up.
All right.
Thanks, Dan.
Time for wax on, wax off, rapid fire questions. All right. I'm going to give you the first 3. You give me the next 3. This is from our audience. You guys can submit these through our podcast socials at Sweep the Pod. Here we go. Number 1, spend the afternoon at Daniel's mansion or Johnny's dojo?
Daniel's mansion.
Daniel's mansion over the dojo.
Absolutely.
I would want to learn how to fight. I don't know how to.
What do you mean? You study jiu-jitsu?
Now I do, but if I was younger, follow Johnny's strike first philosophy or Daniel's karate is for self-defense rule. Yeah, you've been in a lot more fights than I have. Are you a hit first guy or wait for the hit to come?
Well, the first martial art I studied was Taekwondo, which is more defensive. Then there's another style called Tang Soo Do, which is more of an offensive style of Taekwondo.
That was funny. Say it again.
And then
then
Krav Maga I did for 4 years, which is really probably the most useful in self-defense. Now, for me personally, in my experiences, you strike first.
Okay.
Always swing first.
Okay.
If it's a threatening thing. If you can get out of it. All the years that I worked in nightclubs and stuff, I had maybe 2 problems. Because if you could talk your way out of it, talk your way out of it. I was really good at diffusing situations.
Right.
So but if it's going to happen, always swing first.
I can relate it to my life.
Don't go to the ground.
And don't go to the ground. Interesting, because in jiu-jitsu, you want to go to the ground.
Well, jiu-jitsu and Greco-Roman style is the best in competition. If you get a grappler, they're going to win.
Yeah.
In a lot of street situations, you don't want to go to the ground because it's very rarely it's one-on-one.
Right. There's friends and whatnot.
Bottles coming, all kinds of stuff.
I am a strike first person as well, but again, I don't fight that much. So I'm relating that to when I would take tests at Johns Hopkins. Your first instinct, when you think you have the right answer, just put it in. Don't wait and overthink.
I used to Christmas tree. You remember what that is?
No.
You ever have Scantrons?
Yes.
Where you just start randomly filling them in. They used to call Christmas tree a test.
I don't know, because I did well on my tests.
What's the third question?
I did well on my tests. Would you be friends with Kyler?
Oh, not your STD ones. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I just want to apologize to our sponsor, Blue Apron, for having to be associated with this smut. Be friends with Kyler or Miguel?
Miguel all day.
Yeah, I think so too. Kyler there's nothing I like about that guy. Because I like a villain that there's something I like about him. I like nothing about that kid. Okay, now you asked me the last 3. Oh, you have a copy too. Now? Okay, hey, we're just getting started. We're just learning how to do these things.
I got distracted. I was getting
well, you can use the one I gave
deliveries.
You now.
Okay.
What's the difference? I just gave you mine.
Yeah, you did. I know. I'm half asleep, man.
Okay. Well, thank God that you're half asleep for the first season of our podcast that you couldn't get a good night's sleep last night?
No, I couldn't.
Okay.
Because some of us are still working in clubs.
Right.
When you get off stage, can you go to sleep right away? That's a question.
When I get off stage, can I go to sleep right away?
When you get off stage, can you go to sleep right away?
No, and that's not a question, but no. I like to drink a glass of wine and then I go to bed.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Throw a pool party or have a quiet family dinner?
Quiet family dinner. Pool party, I never know, do I have to have my t-shirt off or on?
You're going to answer the door naked again?
Yeah. I did answer the door naked for Bret in Atlanta. That was shenanigans. I'm comfortable being naked in front of you, not in front of anyone else. But pool parties always get wet. I don't need the wet. I like to have a nice dinner party. Next.
I'm down with a quiet family dinner. It's not a dinner party. It's a quiet family dinner.
Well, I don't have a family, and I'm going to die
And throwing
alone.
a pool party, I was never a fan. Like, did you go out for New Year's Eve?
Yes.
Or did you like to stay home?
New Year's Eve, I would go out. But that's like when I was younger. Then I would like to work on New Year's. I used to do a bunch of like stand-up shows on New Year's.
Yeah. Hang out with Sam's friends, Yasmin and Moon, or Miguel's friends, Eli and Dimitri?
Sam's friends, Yasmin and Moon, if they would have me.
All day.
If you'd have me, if I can hang out for a little.
Absolutely, Sam's friends.
Okay, don't make it creepy. For me, it was a total personality thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they wouldn't hang out with you because somebody would be like, ew,
100% they would not hang out with me. The cool hot girls never hung out with me in high school.
Eli and Dimitri, I probably would have been friends with in high school.
Yeah, I would be like the cool person within their group. I'd be like the ringleader of them. I'd be like, come here, bring your cleft lip over here. Poor guy has a cleft lip. Like, it's what is the current state of cleft lips? Is there a surgery for that?
Yes, there is. I'm actually was a friend that has a charity that I helped him with. And the surgery, it's almost unnoticeable now.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
A lot of breakthroughs in that.
You know what? Great. Cancer, sorry, you're going to have to wait. Cleft lips have to be...
Well, some things are easier to cure than others, Dan.
Yeah.
Confront Johnny about his methods or walk away with a smirk like Daniel.
Walk away with a smirk. Johnny's not going to change. I mean, I guess the whole arc of Cobra Kai is him changing, kind of, but not so much. But yeah, I don't think it's worth it. I'm usually a let idiots be idiots in their idiot heads and then just walk away and smirk. You know when I walk away and smirk after you and I hang out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say too, what I love is, and I guess it was because of the internet video, which had nothing to do with this show. A lot of people think that internet video from Johnny's perspective influenced the show. It didn't, because this was getting pitched before that video.
Yes.
But
the revisionist history of the Karate Kid.
Right,
yes.
because you've seen that online.
Yeah.
What I love about what the writers did and producers is you are looking at how they're both right.
Yes.
Right. Because it's really about the perspective. And it was such a great way as a writer to make them both anti-heroes in a sense. Because Daniel's wrong on some things. Johnny's wrong on some things. But from their perspective, you could see why they both feel that way. And that scene at the end, because Daniel didn't know the full story, didn't know that the kid's lying, Kenny. Well, what's his name? Kyler is lying. Billy stuck up for Miguel.
Right.
He looks like the bad guy, but he was really in the right. But yet you could see how another man would be like, you beat up kids.
Right. Who cares what it was about?
And it's just, I really, really, again, kudos to the writers. If
the character development.
It's great.
Yeah. Even with the villains that we meet later in the show, when you do the flashbacks and people who are just like completely unsavory, like Kreese, that you're like, how could I ever see any?
Do you understand I mean, you do.
I'm sorry. Can I finish a thought?
No.
Am I allowed to finish a goddamn thought?
Go ahead.
No, forget it.
I was going to say, do you understand the difficulty a writer has to take characters that are already established, right, that are already known and arguably iconic, and work them to where now you're seeing other layers that are still consistent with the layers we knew?
Yes.
It's
and
really
not only that,
impressive.
those layers will change your vision of what you have already for years had as your, the overriding theme of what you think about that character. It's very good. It's great.
And speaking of great, if you want to check out Dan's stand-up,
you can find me at Stand Up Dan. And if you want to see Bret,
you can find me at Bret Ernst, BRET, 1T, ERNST. Again, my schedule's up there. I'm touring all the time. And Dan, are you performing anywhere?
I'm performing all over the place. You can find my tour dates as well on my Instagram. And please follow at Sweep the Pod. Like and subscribe.
It's very important. You guys know that. We don't even have to tell you that.
Submit some of the wax on, wax off questions. And we will see you in the next episode.